Okay, so basically yesterday, I added the SetIndexHint debug output. Curious though that immediately after the convert, it's still a search. This is a vector that takes set indexes. It's just incorrect to set it to this size. In that sense, that's again the sorted descriptor set layout size. Let me this time use a VK null handle as a default construction here. That would be nice though, I think, to just know how large the largest SetIndexHint is, instead of just incrementing the size of this vector every time I need it, just like I did at the other place. It's being called from here. I think the largest size is already known at the moment I do the pre-processing. Which is way, 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 way up. Preprocessed. So known it is at this point. And I'm calling realize pipeline layout, which I think was a fixed version, was the fixed function actually. That, yeah, here uses the empty descriptor set layout. Though it still feels kind of like a hack, I have to say that I have to do this check here, even though it works. It's just not very flexible. Say I could make future changes to the code, and then as a result this would not work anymore, and then that would be very hard to find. I would like to know what is the maximum size even before this function is being called. Realize pipeline layout, which is possible because we are done with preprocessing here. Maybe I should do it separately here. Just run over the vector. I can move this up. And then I can make a local variable that takes a write log. And then I can just run over all the elements of that thing. Something, I don't like that. I don't like to use a dereference at that point. I want to run over, I don't know how to type anymore. It's a normal vector, yeah. Well, okay, just begin and end, I guess. Let's use the same name as I use as the argument here. Realize pipeline layout is here called. Realize descriptor set layouts. So I just can use that, I suppose. Well, did you read the description? Reload the stream, reload the video. This is now an iterator into that vector, which means that the reference of the vector gives me a descriptor set layout. And then I just need an index actually, so let's use the accessor of the thing that returns a SetIndexHint. Max is more like a limit, right? This is like the largest used. Highest, largest. For largest. I meant this. I don't think this can return something that is undefined, right? Not even sure. Let me make for sure. Can this thing be empty? I guess theoretically it can be empty. What do I want to do in that case? If it is empty, then there's nothing to realize, probably. This would be empty and do nothing. Skip over it. Try make pair. What's happening here? A key with the empty vector. Yeah, also here it may not contain anything that is undefined, and I don't even think it's allowed for it to be an empty vector, as far as I can see. So by making at least now sure that it's not empty, we will get here, and therefore it will be assigned at least once. It's an annoying test to begin with, actually. I could do... yeah. What I want to do, if this is larger than the largest SetIndexHint, then I want to set it. So I keep track of the largest one, but I don't think this works. SetIndexHint is just a vector index. I think the operator larger than is just comparing the value. It is not nice, because undefined means that the value is -1, but mValue is unsigned. So maybe I should use a signed value. That would be easier for the comparison operators. treating undefined always as a special case. Maybe we can initialize it explicitly with a 0. At least it's not undefined then. I mean, then this compare will work, because it's always the largest values, and well, maybe I should turn it around. Okay, this is initialized as 0, so either this is 0, and we don't have to assign it anymore, or it is larger, and then we override it 0. Yeah, but and I want to remember it, so maybe I should make it a member. Nah. And this value then changes every time we have a new fill index. So also to initialize, start, initialized, multi-while loop. Eviction, lock, that's all. Yeah, I don't know. Let's put it below here. SetIndexHint. I'm setting it in that state. I don't know where the rest is set. Oh, that's also set in initialized. State pipeline factory top multi-loop while loop. I think that one is above this one or not? I think so. Yeah, of course. Doesn't really matter, but I like to keep them more or less in the order at which are being used. going to rename it though. I don't like the name. It's way down. It's more like current. So like for the current fill index, the largest one. So it's like Omnic, my code? No. I don't have memory leaks. I mean, quite normal is that if I make a mistake and I code every day for hours and I make lots and lots of mistakes. So if as soon as anything weird is going on, it just run into an assert. And I'm not aware of any code at all that would allow, say, it happens, but that I get, say, Stack Overflow, but normally only because I just get an infinite loop that recursively call the same function. And that then also is immediately detected because it just 100% of the time causes Stack Overflow. Anyway, security is not very important. Although, I mean, not for this program. It's not much a user can do to this to a game. Let's say you have a game. I mean, what input can you do? I've also written things where security was important to me, and then I write ridiculous games, ridiculous code. One of my, it's a hidden URL actually, but I don't care. I think it's in my repositories. Hidden. It's a private repository. Let's find it back. What am I looking for? Did I skip over it? Because I'm not even not sure what I'm looking for. Wasn't that old, I think. I think I skipped over it. When vulkan's dots, events. No, that's interesting. My private repository is vanished. Huh? That is not not very funny. It's kind of a backup. What the hell? Now I want to find it back. I guess it must be in projects. Yeah, pip39 converter. Is it not here? Am I not logged in? Oh, I'm not logged in. That's why I cannot see my private repository. Ridiculous. Now I'm logged in. Yeah, private. So this is if you have a crypto and you save it on a hardware wallet, then you have to remember 24 words, and nobody can remember it, of course, so they write it down. And then if your piece of paper gets stolen, then they have immediate access to your crypto. So some people have loads and loads of money, so they really don't want that to fall in the wrong hands. So what they do, they write down the 24 words and they store that backup in the safe or in a bank or something like that. You know, or even rip it in 2 pieces and save it on 2 different places. Anyway, they always say, never, ever, 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 ever type these words. Let's assume that someone has a $1 million of Bitcoin. Okay, I don't, but you know, that kind of people definitely exist. They need to keep those 24 words because that's their secret key to the money. Don't want to lose that. If their house burns down and their piece of paper burns down with it, they might be screwed. So you really, 1, have to write it down. 2, you have to store it somewhere. And yeah, well, me also. I want to take into account that my house might burn down. So I stored it. I stored a piece of paper in 2 different places outside of my house. But I don't want anyone who finds the piece of paper to have immediate access to to the secret key. So I wrote this program to scramble it. So the words that I store externally are unrelated, basically. Just completely 100% random words. So nobody has anything. I can even show you the list, as it were, on the internet. But let alone, you know, someone finds a piece of paper, well, it's random. Sorry, nothing to do with it. But how does that help me? Well, that helps me because I can convert them back to the real 24 words using this. Oh, sorry, also find it. And it would just be a bunch of words and it wouldn't be any help of you. Because you need this program then to convert it back to the real 24 words. Now, they always say, never type those words into a computer because, yeah, maximum paranoia. At the moment you type in your words, someone could already be looking along with you. They could have a keylogger installed. Or you type it in and it comes somewhere in your RAM, and then someone else is using the same RAM, and then that program crashes. You know, you never know where the where the copy ends up. Or it comes even in your swap. My swap is of course encrypted and stuff, but still, yeah. Well, I was assuming a keylogger. Yes, so I type in my keyboard and I'm assuming that someone has already installed a keylogger and they see everything I type in. And then still I don't want them to see my 24 words. Well, you could look at it yourself. So if your paper, how secure is it? If your paper is not compromised, they have nothing like before. If your paper is compromised, the attacker must one, know you use this program, so I gave that away. Oops. 2, either know the passphrase that you used, or have a screenshot of when you use this program to scramble the words. So, yeah. I'm being very insecure by giving you this program now, so that people now know that I'm using this program. But that's kind of security by obscurity, and I'm assuming that nobody made a screenshot of when I was using it. Oh, oops, yeah. If I was assuming that someone was using a keylogger while I was using this program, then they probably already also know that I was using this program. So they would have the passphrase and the program, but they would still not have the 24 words. So then those people with the keylogger and the knowledge of the fact that I use this program would still have to need to find my my hidden piece of paper. Anyway, I'm going back to Vulkan. So what you're asking about code, I wrote this code in maximum paranoia mode. I don't know anymore which word. Maybe converter. Functions like allocate unswappable memory, which gets memory that will never end up in your swap. And all writes to memory is done through XOR with some random number to begin with. So it generates a random key, and then anything you type in is immediately scrambled and stored like that in memory. So it's just no fucking way that you can. Set non-canonical input mode to make sure that the terminal is in the right state. So you read the passphrase. The moment I read the passphrase, it's not echoed, and it is immediately hashed. So you type in one character, and then it's immediately hashed. With something random. It started disabling ptrace for non-root. So as the program runs, nobody is at Linux kernel levels impossible to trace the program or debug it. You cannot read along. It doesn't core dump. I set a memory lock on the page that I use. It's 100% paranoia. So if you want me to be secure, then I'm secure. But okay, let's go back to the program. So anyone of you has a crypto, then check out the program. You can now have the URL, and it allows you to convert your 24 words to something else. But yeah, then you do have to remember a passphrase, of course. So you still have to remember something, but then not the 24 words at least. So I think it's safer in the sense that most people that will find your 24 words on the paper will not know what you did. They just think that it's the real thing. Okay, so I'm saving the largest SetIndexHint here. Yeah, and then I can use that in this function instead of doing what I do now. I'm going to use this. But now this may no longer happen, because now I really, yeah. Maybe I should compare it with a largest SetIndexHint directly. Let's do that. Now I have here a GetValue, and here, it's kind of annoying. I'm using it here in a normal vector, and that's not it. So maybe I should just use a SetIndexHint here. And on here we use GetValue. But that's kind of silly to use GetValue exactly there and only there when it is standard vector. In that case I should use a utils vector with a SetIndexHint as index, as the index. Unless of course that cannot be, because I really need it to be a vector. Create pipeline layout. Getting the feeling that I really need it to be a vector. Yeah, this must be a vector here. P set layout. No, wait a minute. Top data. My thing has a data as well. I can just use a vector. Utils vector, I mean. Well, that's kind of fun. Is in, yeah. Well, I mean, it's exactly what I created the utils vector for. Did you immediately see what the index means? So SetIndexHint index. Wait a minute. Oh no, what is it? SetIndexHint itself is an index, vector index, yeah. There's defined in the descriptor, like up here. So then I use this type. Yeah, both size and data still exist, I think. Should. And then, of course, I have to change this VHV realize descriptor set stuff as well. So now that's a vector that uses this type as the index. And that means then that I can remove the cat value here as well. Now I just accept SetIndexHint as index. I think this should work. Okay, plus now I have this everywhere else, everywhere lower than this. Compiled, blah blah blah, and then we got one of these functions here. I think we crashed in update missing descriptor sets. It must have to do with the VK descriptor set something layout, obviously. Yes. So that one, or let me just search from the top, it's probably going to occur more often. Missing, no, it's just here. I can even put the standard vector in front of it. Missing descriptor set layouts. Well, it's being passed, allocate, updated handles and unlocking. I think that was called at the end. With the same vector, yep. So then the question changes into, I still have it in my mouse buffer. No, I don't already. Threw it away. Yes, Post Bunny. STD is a abbreviation for standard. As in the standard library. So it's functions and classes and stuff that are defined as part of a C++ itself. I don't do abbreviations. Never, no, well, almost never. But STD is an abbreviation that the standards committee came up with. There's nothing I can do about that. VK also stands for Vulkan. But it's not my thing. It's not my class. Just a thing of the Vulkan API. Lucas, well, that word has several meanings. I'm not into illegal things or breaking into computers, if that's what you mean. So Lens typed something away. Normal people cannot type more than 3 words. I hate those people. You know them in social media and stuff like that, or a virtual world where I used to go. Well, I always type, well, they call it a wall of text. So I type something super intelligent, super interesting, and then when I'm done and I fixed all my grammar errors and I put all the dots on the i's and added punctuation and yeah, well, I hit return. And then someone remarks, not going to read that wall of text. So I do the opposite. I see Lens type something that is longer than the average, and therefore I read it. Because the longer it is, the more interesting in my eyes. So Lens said, I just started switching to glsl shader yesterday to figure it out and fix bugs, to load function pointers, to call for a modern OpenGL core profile. So he's kind of give us an update of his own project, I guess. Okay, I was distracted by you guys again. You did it again, right? I wanted to know where this is being used. This is just being passed. I declared and then I pass it here. Seems unlikely. There was a pushback. Maybe it's an unsorted list. The worst thing I ever did in my life, the most criminal thing I ever did in my life is being a radio pirate. Long time ago. So my electronic hobby, at some point when I was a teenager, I just started building a transmitter for the normal radio, and I transmitted to usually at 105.5 megahertz. And that ended in several years later. I think, how old was I? I think I started when I was 15 or so, and the police come busting into my parents' house I don't know, 21 or something. So had that hobby for many years. I even had to appear in court in front of a judge. But yeah, no, I don't think I ever harmed anyone with it. It was just a lot of fun to be able to talk with people on a distance. And now I'm doing the same thing, you know, microphone, talking to people at a larger distance. It's not much. It feels the same. Being a radio pirate, I'm doing the broadcasting, and the other people are doing the listening. So yeah. Except now I cannot play music because then YouTube is killing me. That sucks. Well, I can play music, but not a music that I would like to play. I would be willing to pay for it. Why couldn't they just say, well, okay, he has 20 viewers on average. Let him play whatever he wants, but for, I don't know, 10 cents a minute, seems reasonable. Not sure we can afford that. 10 cents a minute. I don't know, what do I really want if people play music on the radio? I think I would be willing to pay 10 euros a month just to be able to play whatever music I like while I stream. But they already asked that for allowing a single person or family to listen to, say, Spotify or something. So if I then multiply that by the number of viewers I have, they might be as antisocial as asking, I don't know, 200 euros a month. That's ridiculous, of course. What I need is an AI that creates techno music. Then I can just let it generate music non-stop. It's always new, it's always good, and it's not copyrighted. Yay! That's what I need. Yeah, I'm missing the script. I don't know, man. I have the feeling that this is not really important, but then apparently I cannot find the problem anymore. There was a problem and then we crashed on it. Undo, redo, whatever. Let's try to just compile it again, and really. Let's compile it again and let it crash again. It's probably just crashing again here. Because I didn't fix that as far as I know. Wasn't I just looking at that point? At that file anyway? What? The largest SetIndexHint was not declared. Logical device. Oh. Yeah. Well, yeah. Completely different class here. Could make it part of SetIndexHint map. Is that being filled? What is a reference? Yeah. Okay. Descriptor SetIndexHint. Largest SetIndexHint. Large. Can't type larger. largest, yeah, like that. Okay, so second argument of this function, the realize pipeline layout. So one of the worst things of C++ that you have to keep headers and function definitions synchronized in .cxx files. I mean, why on earth would I have to repeat the same thing here? I mean, yes, it must be known by the compiler, and that includes this header. But come on. Maybe I should write something myself, just an extra preprocess step that just extracts all the function signatures automatically from the .cxx files and then generates the headers. Maybe not such a bad idea, actually. Just always have your headers and your inline separately. So all the .h's have no definitions whatsoever, not even inline, and are automatically generated. And then you write your .inline functions and .cxx files, and then those are being used to generate the .h headers. Lucas, no, I don't think so. Well, in the future, well, maybe generation somewhere in the future. Yeah, well, it's going to be a tool, I think. Just like an editor. Let's say you're writing your programs with pen and paper, and then someone invents Vim, and then you ask, do you think that Vim will replace programmers in the future? Well, and then the answer is no. Well, it's just going to be a tool for programmers that speeds up your productivity. I asked ChatGPT a few programming questions, and it had no clue what it was talking about. It claimed to write the correct programs, but the programs were nonsense. And then I asked it to fix it. I spelled out the error that it made, and it fixed it 10 times, and 10 times it was wrong. But today I asked ChatGPT a few questions about basically the stock market. Maybe it was a stupid question, but I still have it. Yeah. I would like to write a training bot. For that I need an internet connection to the stock market with real-time stock market data. What keyword should I look for with Google in order to find where I can buy or rent such a connection? What is it called? And I find the answer very to the point, so I'm kind of impressed. I mean, yeah. It says I should try to look for market data feed 4, and then the stock market. And indeed, that worked. So it's maybe pretty good at this, you know. I think it's going to replace Google. Yeah. So at some point we'll have I think, a ChatGPT-like interface instead of Google. You just ask it a question and it gives you an answer, or maybe URLs as well. But I think that's the first thing we'll see. And yeah, programming, I don't know. I understood that Microsoft's, what is it called? Copilot or something like that from GitHub. That it has a window of 4 kilobytes or something like that. Maybe 8 kilobytes, but not more. of code. So it can see like, say, 400 lines of code, of context. So for super small programs, if you write a small program and then you ask it the question, it might come up with something interesting. But if I would ask it a question with 800,000 lines of code in total, it would only see a tiny fraction of my code. And then, yeah, no way it says anything that makes sense. If I ask the current version to, you know, give me a hint on what I'm doing now, no way. It cannot even store a single file, I think. This file has 633 lines, so it would already not be able to see the whole file at the same point, at the same time. Yeah, it's okay. So I added this. Let's print that as well. Now, maybe it would be smart enough to do this. I don't know. I didn't test it. But let's say that I start typing comma and then because it knows that I just added this, that it understands that I want to also print that. Want to also print the new argument. But that's hardly replacing programmers, right? It's just a slightly better completion thing. It would only speed up my productivity. Control T, I think. Nope, F7. Also not. Okay, nobody knows. Let's maybe it would become more interesting if you can also talk to it in real time. Would have to have a much larger window at first. So really you have to be able to see your whole program and more or less understand that. I don't know if that's possible yet, but. And then you could say something like, okay, bring me back to the place where I was editing before, something like that. And then it's smart enough to do that, and well, I would like that. SetIndexHint does not name a type. What is going on? I never worked on this, and now suddenly set layout is not known. I mean, this is it, but how did I change this code then? A second ago it compiled. I think I must have hit a few wrong wrong keys or something like that. Yeah, I accidentally moved a line. Well, okay, if you say so. Sashinder Kushain, I'm not working. I'm not being paid, let's put it that way. I'm working hard, but SetIndexHint was not declared in the scope. Did you mean vulkan descript or SetIndexHint? SetIndexHint was not declared in the scope. Again. My.vim, I don't think I have any. Seriously, I'm using NeoVim. No matching function for a call to blah 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 blah. Finally, we're back. Realize, okay, and I added it as the second argument. Now, Sashinder, if you look at the description, you'll find something. A late Christmas present. Nobody reads the description of my videos. For some reason. It's in the FAQ. I have more, of course, but everything you can see is mentioned in there, as far as I know. So the font and the colors. NVim, I think. Or maybe you want this one, the initVim. So this is related to the color scheme that I'm using, and then you have to read the description for yeah, the rest is not really. I don't even know what it is. I don't think I ever need it or use it. This is my Clang format. That's good. I know that it is here, and I don't like it. I never use Clang format because I don't like the way it formats. So only the beginning might be interesting. This is again related to the syntax highlighting, so you can find that back as well, as far as I know. We should be able to. In the description URL. What the hell is this? Easily switch between source and, oh yeah, that's what I use. I'm using this. Switch with F7, switch between .h and .cxx files. This one, I guess. Go to the last file if invoked without argument. So if you just type vi, it opens the last file. That's this thing. Right. You want my .bash RC file as well? God, are you kidding me? Dude, you have no idea how much environment I have. Here I only have this, actually. And that's just one file. Is IN one passes? Yeah, IN is equal to the size. Something is wrong here. Nobody can find it back. Utils vector, yeah. It is equal to the size. And this fails. That is weird. Well, this is talking about the set index, which is of course not the same as SetIndexHint. So I guess the size of this thing is still wrong. Sorted, yep, that's 2 again. And again, I think the set index is just a mapped version of the SetIndexHint, and as in the same values, but scrambled around a bit. Though I'm not even sure. I wonder if it could map it to something that is larger than the currently used SetIndexHint. So actually might be possible. But okay, sorry, I had to yawn. This is my pipeline factory. I do not know when it is called, but I have the feeling that it is called after I set my that value. So it is used in update missing descriptor sets. Yeah, that is called after. This remark here. This code assumes that M sorted descriptor set layouts contains contiguous range of SetIndexHint values, 1 for each. Okay, that literally says what is no longer true. This code assumes that M sorted descriptor layout contains a contiguous, and I think I understand contiguous correctly, as in not skipping any value, of SetIndexHint values. And what I'm currently having is 0, 2. So the one is skipped. Now I would like to know then where exactly this code is assuming that, except for the next line. There seems to be a map from the set index to the handle. Isn't that like, or is that used? Isn't this always the case? Note that it might take a complex application that is skipping shader resources that are in a given descriptor set but aren't used in this pipeline. Hence leave the assert here for a very long time. I think we reached that point. Yep. Okay, it is a local thing, a local vector, which is defined here, declared here or down. And then we store data as a function of setIndex, also here, by the way. I wasn't even sure about that. And then we recall it by setIndex. So far, I really don't care about the order or anything. It's just storage by setIndex and recalling it by setIndex. And then I think we jump all the way to the top. Different function or not? Nope, it's the same function. Yep. In other words, I really don't care. I just want to store it by setIndex. Don't need a max setIndex. I'm not sure that the max setIndex is going to be the same as the max SetIndexHint though. That probably depends on the mapping. I could use a map instead. Size, run over it. Yeah, so we get something that is converted. So we really should, I think, get the maximum value from the SetIndexHint map. I mean, that would be the most sane thing to do. Yeah, there's a clear, there's a add to from, add from to even. With convert returns value from setIndex map. Which source both. That is a map from index to hint. Yeah, what is wrong with this picture? Clearly, this is a map from a SetIndexHint to a SetIndex. From hint to SetIndex. Yeah, that's what it is. I was looking at it's a stupid word map here. Now I got confused myself. This is a vector of SetIndexHint, SetIndexes, with the SetIndexHint as the index. So it converts hints to indexes. While a map would convert the other way around. So got confused there. Right, then the moment I store this, I just want to know the largest value. Why not? Blah, blah, blah. Need to set it back to undefined even, I think. How do I set an index back to undefined? Set to 0, set to undefined. Could set it to 0 though, because that was easier as we saw before. But oh well. I think that works, right? There was, I think, yesterday someone who asked if someone was interested in writing a trading bot, something like that. Well, I am interested. So if that person is still there, let's get into contact on Discord. Because now I want to write it myself. Yeah. Apparently I need a descriptor in front of it. That's weird because we are inside the descriptor. What? Let's not put it in front of it. And D2F column. D2F column. D2F column. D2F column. Actually, D2F colon is for D2F colon has 4 characters, so it would be faster to DWX, I think. We try that one. DW, no, that's 2 X's, still 4 characters. Anyway, it's probably faster. XX is faster than 4 different characters. So now we have the largest value there, yes, and an accessor for it. Called, oh, there's one more. Called the largest set index. Hey! Actually, I didn't want to do that. But I can, yeah, we can just use it here. I think it was a missing thing, or what was it? This is the one, set index. So let's use something else. Let's use my new function. Called on the map, which I thought I had. This one, SetIndexHint map. Right, and then this thing gets the same size. And then maybe some other sizes as well. Unbounded size, descriptor set size, running over. Missing descriptor set layout size, I don't think so. Up to the next compile error. I mean runtime error. No matching function for call to utils vector. Really? Oh. Oh, yeah. It returns a set index, not a size type. Maybe I should allow constructing from an index and then interpret that as the largest index. That would not allow to create one of the size of 0. But, well, that would be the default constructor. And what if the value is 0? Well, yeah, then I can just store 0. Use index 0. What did I miss? Damn it. Bear. Hello, Bear. How are you? What did Post Bunny just say? Damn it, I missed it. Post Bunny, now you are worrying me. She just said something that would make me worry and or distract me. And I don't know anymore what it was. I don't want him to worry. Now I'm worrying. Post Bunny said something that made me worry. I'm sure someone else did read the chat. What did Post Bunny say? Otherwise I cannot code anymore. So I allow to create a vector from an index type and then make it that value +1. So we can use all the way up till that index type. Sure, Omnic is going to tell me. What did she say? Yeah, okay. Talking about distracted, my God. Undo, redo, get value +1. Yeah, I agree with ChatGPT on that. In fact, I find religion extremely scientifically explainable. It's evolution over ideas. So, if you know what is emergence, say you have a feedback loop, and exactly one frequency is exactly one frequency in the feedback loop is amplified more than any other frequency. Like in a laser. It's exactly the laser frequency that is amplified more than any other frequency. And the result is, of course, that if the light bounces back and forward, that you get an exponential growth. Yeah, that extra factor, let's say it grows 1.01 instead of 1.009. If you do that a billion times, the 1.01 to the power billion is a lot larger than the 0.009 to the power billion. So eventually you only end up with a single frequency. So that's emergence. If there is a feedback loop, and there is anything that is being amplified more than anything else, then that's what you will be left over with. And you can apply that to evolution. Evolution works by amplifying traits that have the largest possibility to multiply. So if someone, a certain trait causes a species to survive longer than another trait, then that's the species that survives longer will get more children, or more offspring, I should say. And that's the multiplication that happens in evolution. So in the end, after many, many generations, you will have species with exactly those traits that make them multiply as fast as possible, which includes being healthy, usually, and being good at finding food, and being good at mating, and getting a lot of etc. etc. Religion is exactly the same, except that's evolution of ideas. It is exactly the idea, how do you pronounce it, that multiplies the fastest over generations. So every religion says that you must get as many children as possible, and that anti-conception is bad, and gay is bad, and of course that you have to indoctrinate your religion onto your offspring so that it multiplies from generation to generation. And the core of the idea is then, of course, the absolute maximum reasoning to, make it sink in with this offspring, namely that your eternal soul is at risk. You either believe what I say, or you will burn in hell for eternity. You cannot make it any worse than that. So exactly that is what religion is, because it's the idea that multiplies the fastest from generation to generation. Add to that, kill everybody who doesn't believe. That also helps. And of course, you should go out and convince other people. Not just your offspring, but also every religion is the same. I am totally convinced religions only exist because they are made up in a way that they keep themselves alive and they multiply. It's evolution of ideas. And then while you were talking about AI is nothing of the sort, nothing whatsoever. It's completely unrelated. It has been used, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not the first one to see this. People empower, more in the past than now. I don't think it will work very much at the moment. But people in power have used religion time again and again to hijack it, to amplify their own power. I mean, the Catholic Church and whatever, all those people in power who hide behind the religion, and then say, I'm speaking directly to God, and God tells me you have to do this or that, and that's the way to get power, of course. So yeah, very abused. It got him still. Yeah, well, a friend of me, a woman friend, had an idea. Now you're talking about it. So Post Bunny says, idolizing boobs is useful for my ends. So this woman friend had the ideas. She suddenly came up with, she thought it was a bright idea. She told me, she said, I finally discovered or thought of the reason why women have breasts, and in front of them, in front of the breast. It's so that the men have something to look at while they have sex. I so totally disagree with that. I think the reason they are there is so that a baby can reach them easily when you hold it in your arms. But yeah, nature tends to reuse things. They use same, when something has developed and it has two positive purposes, and it's used for both. So it's definitely also an attractor for men, I guess. I mean, and now we're on the subject of sex and evolution anyway. I have a question for you, Boys Bunny, and well, everyone else. As you know, well, maybe you don't know, but I'll tell you. Pressure on the male's prostrate feels very, very good. It's almost, can give feelings as same feelings as an orgasm. And when you go to the to the bathroom to do a big what is it? How do you say that? Well, if you have to shit, yeah, I don't know how to say that in English in a neat way. That feels good because it presses against the prostate. And I was wondering if that is a dual usage of the fact that it is there. Does nature, secu evolution, have a use for the fact that going to the how do you say that? Defecate feels good because it's the prostate is just next to the Darm outlet there, whatever you call it. I'm like, it must have a purpose. So what if the feeling that you get was not there? Then maybe people would not go to the bathroom as quick as they do now? Or is that too far-fetched? I mean, and that would be unhealthy? I can imagine that it's really like that the evolution really, made use of the fact that you need to get rid of those, what is the word? Afvalstoffen. Waste products. So, a bear said, I can't say it's film you enjoy. Okay, I'm wrong. I think you're wrong. It is. Voice body, yeah. Okay. By the way, I'm really what is it? Surprised that the number of viewers didn't drop. Although we did drop, I think, from 24 to 16. while talking about this. I like shocking subjects, so yeah. Get back to coding. But it's 10. It's 10. I thought I should go to bed like 11. I think it's more. Yesterday I was thinking 10 is actually the right time to stop streaming, considering I shifted my day back with 3 hours. So it used to be like 1 o'clock then for me. Well, still, it's just evolution. Talking about evolution, I'm pretty scared with relationship to the modern medicine. Everyone is kept alive. We have hygiene from here to there, and medicine, and doctors take care of everyone, especially children. Children are so precious. Everyone would like risk their life to rescue them, which is kind of natural. But then also the doctors. So yeah, I don't know. What will happen to our DNA in this time? There is no feedback anymore in terms of evolution. I can imagine that, say, before DNA would improve with 1 bit per generation, and now I think it must be declining by 1,000 bits per generation or something like that. Yeah, I don't think so, Poise Bunny. The only desirable trait I have is my mind, but even then, I suffered the largest part of my life without when I was not taking the medicine from panic attacks and other instabilities. I would have been dead long time ago in the what is that? The oertijd. I don't know what is that in English. What is oertijd in English? You know, when people didn't know what fire was and stuff like that. Prehistoric times. So yeah, I would have been dead in the prehistoric times. I think at birth even. I was born in the wrong direction, so not my head first, but my butt first, and I had a very severe. However you pronounce it. So in some kind of illness. And the doctors kept me alive. So yeah, I should have been dead. I'm happy they kept me alive, by the way. I'm just worried for humanity at large. What? Mark Boyce, I hope you made it up. That is not what ChatGPT was said to you. Because I don't think it would be allowed to say something like that. They forced it to be friendly. Well, my autism might be because of how I was born, I think. Took a while before I started breathing. So a slight brain damage there. Why not? It's possible. Yeah, I guess that that the opinion that I won't repeat it, but the opinion that ChatGPT has there, that Mark Post just pasted, is in line with being non-religious. I'm not sure who would, you know, the people that are super against this, probably religious. Or am I mistaken there? I mean, they have religious reasons, let's put it that way. I don't think too bad of me. I don't even hurt a fly. When I go outside and I want to open the door to my shed, where my bike is parked, and I see an insect sitting on the edge of the door, then I talk to it. And I say something like, hey buddy, what are you doing there? It's not the best place to sit. And I open the door super slowly so he can do his few steps to the side. And then I close the door even more carefully. And then I go shopping with my bike, saying when I come back and the insect is still sitting there, I say, hey, are you still there? Yeah, really, I like plants and insects and all animals except fruit flies. I kill fruit flies because I hate them. No, because they multiply too fast. And mosquitoes. I don't like mosquitoes because they sting me and that itches. But I'm the guy that when it is a warm day and I'm on my bike, I stop and bike back 5 meters in order to rescue a worm, because the worm is laying on the hot. Is worm the right word? Let's get Dutch or English. An earthworm. Sometimes you see an earthworm laying on the hot pavement, and you just know how that ends. They become completely hard. Just all the water evaporates from their body, and then they just literally bake. So I really cannot continue biking. Then I stop, I go back, I take them, and I put them in the shade. So I love life. Why is this validation error happening? Okay, I'll either I stop streaming now or I stop looking at the chat, and I think I'll do the latter for a bit. So no more chat for me. Quickly concentrate on this problem. Yeah, we saw that before. Maybe this is because I initialized that one vector with vulkan, with VK null handles instead of unused stuff, which is not allowed. So I'd have to see where this piece set layouts come from. Yeah, that must be it. I don't even have to debug it, I think. But let's debug it anyway. That should be 100% reproducible, if I'm correct. Yeah, of course, because we only have a single pipeline here. So no risk conditions whatsoever. So we run this in the debugger, GDB. And then reproduce it again in the debugger. Up, 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 up. Up. Yeah, now I have to wait through all the validation layer code. Allocate descriptor sets. And that is the one that gave this validation error. Allocate descriptor sets. Ah. Oh. Oh. Yeah. That. Yeah. No. That's not how it works. Cannot do that. So that is being filled with pset layouts, and that contains null handles apparently, which is from the temp layouts, which pushes back stuff from this. That would be a null handle then, which is simply running over the VLU, which is we also have pset layouts here, but I think the pset layouts is what we do want to keep. It's overridden here. Okay, that's like really weird. It's always overridden, as far as I can see. Allocate descriptor sets, and we're passing VHV descriptor set layout. Yeah. I could just skip the null handles, but then we get just a vector with which is smaller in size. I doubt that will work out of the box. But on the other hand, what else can you do? Calling allocate descriptor sets. Just, I don't have that many to allocate. On the other hand, I still want to allocate the empty descriptor sets, I think it's important to know how this vector here was filled, where that comes from. That seems so really nonsensical. What a weird code is this. Temp PSV lights out, and now for some reason I'm counting the number of descriptor sets separately. And I'm using that there and there. Unbounded descriptor array sizes. Data. Right, so yeah, and then this is not allowed to contain any null handle, because this is using the same index, I guess. I think the caller needs to know about this. The caller needs to take care of not passing any null handles and then interpreting the result in using the same index as what is being used here and there. Furthermore, we have this, and that is being to do a pushback and an increment of the count. So set index has frame resource pairs, number of frame resources. Oh, it's a duplication, that's why I'm counting it. But on the other hand, no, it does not make any sense whatsoever. This the unbounded descriptor array sizes must be the same size as what I'm passing here, I bet. This code is not good. I don't know. Well, I think that it just, that this should be the same size. And I don't understand why we did not run into a problem before. P descriptor counts. I'll have to look at this, what it is in the specs. Yeah, it literally says here the number of elements in P descriptor counts. So that is totally wrong then what I'm doing here. No matter what, this must be unbounded array size I mean. And I think I want also mean that the whole P set layout is not repeated, is it? Nope. So I might as well use just directly this here. And then I'll just use the size of that here. Which means no longer use that. And we no longer use that. And then I think that my unbounded descriptor array sizes should also be a temp value. So we get another one, which are called temp. VNG layout, push back, descriptor set layout. And the size must be equal, so I don't know, but I think this is much better. Let me rename this thing here though. It's a bit too short and nobody knows why. temp layouts. Right, and then so the caller must take care that this thing no longer contains null handles. That one must be of the same size. Let's add that as a search. In other words, more work for the caller. But let's first see that we now assert instead of whatever happens, validation error. A narrowing conversion of unbounded descriptors, aka size type to unsigned int. Okay, that might have been the reason that I use a separate thing. Yeah, what is a reasonable value? I can do here the maximum value that's allowed for an unsigned int 32, but it's ridiculous large as well. There's a number of descriptor sets you want to allocate. Okay, honestly I have no idea. There must be some hardware limit on how many you can allocate even. I guess 1 million would be good. I have no idea. Maybe even 1,000 is already a lot. I don't know. So let's just use a limit. I think max, is that a thing? Numeric, standard numeric limit. Yeah, max. Yeah. I wonder if it will complain about this though. It might say, well, warning, you're comparing a size type with an uint. That is exactly the reason why I'm doing that. I don't think it will complain. It only complain when one is signed and the other is unsigned. Yeah. Okay. And now we want to know what this is being called from. Oh wait, I want to know if now we assert. And we assert, I guess, here. Yeah, okay. So that's exactly what I wanted-ish. And then we call that function from here and from IMQ. Uh-oh. 2 places. Yeah, let's have a look at this one first. Missing descriptor sets again. Yeah, the missing descriptor sets cannot have null handles. Layout. This is the missing. It returns the missing descriptor sets after passing the missing descriptor set layouts. And then we run over the missing descriptor set layouts, size, to read from that. Isn't that kind of weird? But on the other hand, yeah, also have this one. Oh boy. Same thing, I guess. Let's add an assert here as well. So if I get all the null handles out of this, then what happens? What happens? This is now missing stuff, but the size is equal. Yeah, it doesn't have null handles, so the empty is still the same meaning at least. And we pass it to this function, which is now assuming no null handles and treating everything just like, yeah, correctly, I suppose. That still holds, and then we don't know where we end up. What is this? 75%. Totally different function anyway. I mean, it's probably what is being passed to this function, but let's concentrate on just this function. And that would work. And then this vector, also 75%. So also only here, do we just we get it, print it, compare it, pass it. No problems there. On that one, so pass it, print it, compare the size, pass it, and then use it with I, which is, you know, the canonical index that we're using in this function, without the null handles. So that seems to work, if the input is correct. And then finally we change the missing descriptor sets, return thing, which is now smaller, and then the size is still correct, and we just copy it over into descriptor set per set index. And that should work because this first value is still the same and the content is still correct. So no problem there. I don't see any problem anyway. So yeah, I think this function now also works, but the caller now has to still take care of not passing any null handles. The call of this function. Missing descriptor set layouts, missing descriptor set on set index has frame resource pairs. I'm missing a missing there to easily recognize them. This is the same arguments. Missing descriptor set layout, missing this blah blah blah, and set index has frame resource pairs. Yeah, and that's all. So it comes down to fixing those three vectors in this function. Hopefully this is the same function. We go up here, update missing descriptor sets. Yep, that's where it is. So now we go look for all of these vectors. In this function, there's one. Obviously, there's the next one, and finally, there is the third and last one. So these three vectors must be adjusted so they still correspond one-on-one in terms of the index that is being used, but this one may no longer contain any null handles. And then it should work, as far as I can see. Here we just pass it. Empty is still okay. Resize, that is the missing descriptor set. This is also correct. Here we push back something that might be a null handle. So this could be changed, should be changed, and here I'm passing it again. Well, then this is the only line. Okay, let me look at the others first. Here's something already not good. Start at the top. Empty, and blah blah blah. Resize to the missing and push back. Okay, let me see that. What is this? If the missing descriptor set unbounded descriptor array sizes is not empty. The horror of it. It doesn't look like a one-on-one relationship between the indexes at all. Why did I write this without a comment? Okay, let's look at the other one. This one. Well, at least this one matches up. Every time I do a push back here, I do an emplace back here. So the size is indeed the same. Yeah, I'm getting it. It does go in sync. Because it seems that what I'm doing here is just keep this thing empty. Well, it does not go in sync, but it's empty. Unless at some point this is unequal 0. Could still be empty though. So I'll have to fix the function again. But I had an assert where it said that it could not be unequal. Let's say this always returns 0, and then this array is empty. It's empty from the start. So this is false. And this is also false, because it always returns 0. So we don't do anything, so that remains 0. But then as soon as we get a value that is non-zero, then we enter here because of this. And then we say, well, this is true, because it's the first time we enter. And if at that point the missing descriptor set layouts is already filled with something, because we got here before, then we just set this thing to the same size. And then we do a pushback followed by a pushback on that thing. So from that moment on, they have the same size. Plus, if then we enter again, then this is now true, because it is not empty. And this is always false, because it is not empty. Therefore, from then on, we always do a pushback. Including, so it keeps in sync in terms of the size, except when it is kept at 0. But yeah, there is now danger that we do this pushback and then find out that handle is null, in which case you have to do nothing, I guess. Not push back this, but also not push back that one. Well, that would be easy enough, I suppose. But what do I have to do if the handle is null? I just don't want to do all those pushbacks, and for the rest we do exactly the same thing. I don't think this is true anymore. Let's wait for until I crash on it. Yeah. Okay, let me look at the chat again. Oh no, Accelerator mentioned hot chocolate. No, I cannot go to bed until I got that, of course. Let me get it. Does my program run though? It's not run. But hot chocolate is more important. I'll be right back. Where is it? I really have to go to bed, actually. Okay. Gut. Yeah, I should be in bed. But now I made hot chocolate. So I might as well look at this bug. Something that is not a frame resource. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's just a vector with nothing in it. Yep, one. One is not being used. Really? 55. Well, thank you, Ferris. Didn't tackle anything yet, though. It keeps bugging me with bugs. Pipeline constructor. I'll just have to look at the code. Yeah, I guess it's not really wrong that the vector's empty for the set index that I'm not using. This really has an index, set index as as index into this vector. So why am I even looking at SetIndex1? That's a more important question probably. Well, SetIndex is here. The number of set indexes. It's running contiguously over it. Incorrect. It is no longer contiguous. Yeah, the number of set indexes is equal to descriptor sets size, which is nonsense. It's simply not true anymore. Can I not just pass descriptor sets in a different way? Maybe. Size, yeah, set index. And again, the set index. At most, I could put the set index itself in the vector 2. It's a Vulkan engine, but close enough. And it's not per se for Linux, but nobody on Earth in the next 300 years will be able to port it to another operating system. But since it's open source, feel free to try. And this predicted nobody will be able to. Show me an AI that can convert this code to something that works on Windows, and I'll show you an AI that can code. That can really code. Yeah, okay. I'm going to bed, as in I'm going to stop the stream because you have to start somewhere. And I'll just continue tomorrow, I guess. So good night. Thank you for keeping me company, and